The BMW 7 Series is BMW's most luxurious sedan, and in this video I'm going to tell you what makes it so special. Now this car in particular is a 2022 730D. It's a G11 chassis. The fact that it's a 2022 model means it's had its facelift already, which added the very controversial front grille. And if you haven't been able to tell by the gazillion mosquitoes in the front grille, I've driven this car for a long while. In fact, I rented this car with two other friends of mine and did a 4,000-kilometer road trip on it over the past week. The G11 BMW 7 Series was launched in 2015 to replace the outgoing F01 7 Series. Then it received the facelift I already mentioned in 2019. This is BMW's top-of-the-line sedan, and although this 730D has almost no optional equipment, it's a rental after all, it still comes incredibly well equipped. My Mercedes S55 AMG decided to break down the day before I was supposed to drive it all the way from here in Madrid to Chichester in the UK for the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Neither me nor my friends had plane tickets or any alternative form of transportation. The road trip had to be made, and so I booked the 7 Series. I understand that some may call this engine underwhelming. It's a 3-liter inline-6 diesel, so that means you have to top it off with AdBlue occasionally. Some of these cars even had a V12, but don't think that this car is slow in any way, shape or form. It's got 265 horsepower and 620 Nm of torque, which, thanks to it being the xDrive version, sends it out to all four wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. But what really makes this car special are the things that are very hard to show on video. Sure, I can talk about the heated rear seats or the electrically adjustable rear seats, and that I can show you on video right now. But what most reviews fail to mention about these cars is exactly just how comfortable they are. I spent 20 hours in this car yesterday. We went in one go from London here to Madrid. Not a single one of my friends, and of course not me, were complaining about any sort of back pain or any sort of uncomfortableness, if that's a word, while driving this car or while spending time in this car. I drove for 7 hours straight, and I was not nearly as tired as if I had driven 3 or 4 hours in a normal car. Those are things that are very hard to show on video, probably impossible to show, and you just have to take my word for it unless you've driven like an S-Class or an Audi A8 or a 7 Series like this one. It's not the equipment. You can probably get a 5 Series fully loaded like this, or a 3 Series fully loaded like this. So what makes you choose a 730D? It's a car whose platform was designed by engineers without any penny pinching. This is a car that is designed to be the best that BMW can do. And of course, bear with me, I will show you all the equipment that this car has, but I'm sure you'd be more surprised by just how comfortable and how easy it is to put miles in this car than by all the equipment if you were in my shoes, if you had spent the time that I just spent in this car. So please believe me, that is the most extraordinary thing about this car. The seats, the front seats, the rear seats, just spending time here, the noise, not being able to feel any of the potholes. This is an incredible car, and it's not just a 7 Series, it's any F segment car, it's any large luxury car that is like this. Now, I'll mention all the equipment and cool features on this car, but just be mindful that it's a long list. Starting on the outside, you've got cameras all over the car that allow you to get a 360-degree view of whatever is happening around you. Very useful for parking. In fact, I had to park this almost 5.5-meter yacht in between two Citroens in the narrowest McDonald's parking lot in France, and these cameras became incredibly useful. The grille is normally closed and only opens if the car feels like it needs extra cooling. This makes it more aerodynamic when you're just cruising at highway speeds. Talking about things that open automatically, so does the trunk lid, which you can open and close remotely. Alongside more normal things like power folding mirrors, this BMW 7 Series has got air suspension with ride height control, very useful to avoid scraping if the road turns bad, and soft closed doors, a wonderful convenience that means you can gently push it and it will finish latching. But on the inside is where a 7 Series really shines. The main structure of this car is built out of a carbon fiber compound which BMW called Carbon Core. All main 4 seats are electric and have their own memories. This includes both rear seats.
Also, all 4 passengers get seat warmers and their own climate control. Yes, this car seats 5, but why would you? When you lower the center armrest, you get this cool solution that makes it so that you always see the interior color of the car. No ugly black plastics here. The pillows on the headrests are adjustable, which means you can maximize comfort. Even though this is not the long wheelbase version, if you've got a chauffeur driving this car and you're in the back, you can completely control the passenger seat from there. You can also move it from the driver's seat. Yes, many times I ended up moving my friend's seat on purpose just to mess with him. There's also the BMW gesture controls, which allow you to change song or mute the audio by just moving your hands. It's a fantastic feature in Germany, not so much fun if you're Hispanic or Italian like me and you move your hands when you speak. I had to disable it because I kept changing the song accidentally. The dashboard is absolutely full of information. There's so much you can see here that I could spend 10 minutes of this video talking about it. I won't, because I like to keep my videos short and to the point. And by the way, feel free to check out my other reviews and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. The heads-up display is incredibly useful. I mostly used it to change song without having to take my eyes off the road to choose. But you can also display speed or GPS instructions here as well. Other features on this 730D are a decent sunroof, a billion random settings, and a dead wasp. Not everything is rainbow and butterflies in this car. Why? Just why does everything have to have the M logo in BMW? This is a BMW 730D. It's one of the blandest sedans BMW makes when it comes to sportiness. It's targeted at 80-year-old men. Then why is the M logo on the steering wheel, the dashboard, the door seals, on the sides of the car, the wheels, the brake calipers, and even the key? 15 years ago, you'd only see such a thing on a clapped-out 316i. How did it move up the range? There's nothing that embodies the N spirit or essence on this 730D. Also, what the hell is this? This is the biggest pile of corporate BS to ever make its way into a car. It's the kind of thing that Generation Z marketing people who have never worked a day in their lives think 65-year-old executives need. And I say that as one of those marketing people. You've got 3 relax modes called executive, expressive, and well-being. The only significant thing it does is open or close the sunroof shade. Then you've also got the caring car programs, which can vitalize or relax you. I'll be clear, they didn't do anything that relaxed or vitalized me in this car.
Now let's drive this BMW 730D. This is one of the hardest reviews I've ever had to do in terms of driving, because a lot of what I have to talk about are things that I cannot show you. I cannot just press a button, as I was saying before, and show you just how comfortable these seats are. What I can tell you, and the reason why I didn't wash the car, again for the review, is that I've certainly driven over 4,000 kilometers. That's well over 2,500 miles in this car, or being driven, as my friends were also driving. And you don't get tired at all driving this car. I've done similar distances and similar time frames in my Alfa Romeo 159, and it was a completely different experience. And an Alfa Romeo 159 was not an economy car. I have no idea what kind of magic is in these seats, what exactly makes them so perfect, what exactly makes this suspension so great, aside from being an air suspension, of course. And it's one of those things where I can only say you have to try it to be able to know what I'm talking about. Fuel consumption is amazing, 6.8 liters every 100 kilometers. Over the 4,000 kilometers we've driven this car, and we haven't been driving slow. We got stuck in traffic a lot of times, especially getting to and leaving the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Now I want to show you how this car accelerates, because despite weighing over 2,000 kilos and being a diesel, it really goes.
All in all, as I said before, it's incredibly hard to review this car without resorting to just reading a list of gadgets and equipment, which of course would make for a boring and drawn-out review. What makes these cars so great is in the engineering, the sound deadening, the ergonomics of the seats. Trust me, If you're going to be driving long distances and can splurge on a 7 Series over a 5 Series, please go ahead.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe for more content on this channel. See you in the next video.